we really focus on the product, development, communication, and yeah, that pays a lot right now.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to just highlight what you said in a different way because it comes up a lot on this show. Something that makes your job a lot easier as an entrepreneur is having a great product. Like that
Correct.
that is a cheat. That is a cheat. If it's just like something that's easily replaceable or doesn't have any differentiation or uniqueness to it, you just have to find these things in whatever niche that you're in. Honest E-commerce is a weekly podcast where we interview direct-to-consumer brand founders and leaders to find out what it takes to start, grow, and scale an online business today. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honest E-commerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show Alissa Miky. She is a seaweed-tech pioneer and the founder and CEO of Aqua Theon and OoMee, the marine-powered functional beverage. Alissa, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for the time. It was so excited to finally talk to you.
Yes. So I guess first and foremost, at the top, for the folks that are unaware of the brands that you helm, what are the products that you're bringing to market?
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Alissa Miky, and I need to do this. I'm a founder of Aqua Theon / OoMee. OoMee is American first red seaweed-based powered by Seabiotics. It's made from agar-agar, a Japanese red seaweed used in wellness for 400 plus years. And we launched about 5 months ago, but it's already in 700 locations nationwide in the States right now. We're really growing really fast. The velocity is 2 times better than the other functional beverage. Yeah, that's we do now.
That's amazing. And we're going to get into how you kind of found that velocity. But I guess first and foremost, during your intro, I called you a seaweed-tech pioneer. So how do you get that title?
So, as a Japanese American, seaweed is a pretty natural thing. We eat sushi, nori, furikake, but it was so challenging to make the seaweed product in an innovative way. Because seaweed, if you boil the seaweed, it's going to be jello, right? And also seaweed is actually affected by the sea temperature when you harvest. So if you harvest on a cold day, seaweed dye fiber going to be so squeezed, boil that, it's look like a strong texture. Opposite, if you harvest on a warm day, seaweed dye fiber going to be gigantic. And if you boil that, no texture. So it's so difficult to, make us exact same quality and then make the innovative product without chemical additives. That's why I decided to create all the Seabiotics technology by ourselves. We can actually make medical capsule, plastic alternative from the seaweed, but it takes time under the FDA. So we decided to use our technology into the food and beverage. So that's why we call ourselves seaweed-tech pioneer, kind of making that kind of a sprinkle communication.
Absolutely. And so it sounds like there might be some more innovative stuff on the horizon for the brand in the future.
Yes. I wish I can tell all my story to you today, but I know you only have 30 minutes today, so I'm going to post it over there.
So let's just talk about the first foray into the market, and that's OoMee. And you mentioned that's the American version of the brand. So did you launch internationally as well?
No. So all this, company, Aqua Theon is doing, every business is under the US. I'm a Japanese American. Let me, explain, before I explain the detail, let me talk about why I start this company because it's really important for me. So as a Japanese American, I was born in the US, grew up in Japan. And, I was already, this is actually my third company. When I was 21, I made a flower shop business, made it the number 1 in Tokyo. I was the youngest awardee of the Forbes Japan when I was 24. So I did a lot of business there. But on the same time, I was feeling so sad that when I came back to the US, I found that food and medical industry is kind of broken here. And I love US, we are the leader company. We can change the world, but the reality, that was like missing. So as a Japanese American, I thought that let me try to bridge a Japanese secret heritage here in the US to make people more, how to say, like heal and happiness. So that's why I, moved back to the US 6 years ago, start Misaky.Tokyo, a seaweed candy brand that already has 1.4 million followers in TikTok. But again, little by little, living in the US, I gained 40 pounds just in 3 months. And then I ended up in ER. I'm actually a cancer fighter. So little by little, I was like feeling that how can I fix my body? I felt that my body, mental, soul was, breaking down. So one day I went back to Japan and then I realized that there are so many seaweed stuff there. Like not just nori chips, but also yogurt, juice, supplement. There's so many things is, created by seaweed. And it's really healthy, really sustainable, and it's also affordable. So there I realized that, I wanted to do seaweed product. I wanted to make more innovative product. That's why I created all the technology from the scratch again, bring the OoMee, and yeah, we're like doing, seaweed business now.
Yeah, that's amazing, and it is quite abundant. And if you can make products out of it, I feel like there's probably a good margin there.
Well, yeah, the lucky thing is we're not just a technology company. We also cooperate with a lot of small farmers in Chile, Indonesia, Japan, and one more secret countries. So that's why we have both benefit, not just talking about the technology, but also we're catching the supply chain itself. So yes, I think our margin is better than the other beverage or the other candies too.
Most brands outgrow their legacy choices long before they switch. Bad platform decisions do not fail all at once. They fail slowly, then suddenly. First, it is one workaround, then another tool, then another integration that is duct taped on top, and eventually your team is spending more time managing the stack than actually marketing to customers. Eventually, rebuilding is less painful than staying, usually when it starts to show up on the P&L. That's when scaling brands simplify and standardize on Klaviyo. Klaviyo is the AI-first B2C CRM. It combines your customer data, email, SMS, analytics, and customer experience tools into one platform, so you're not stitching together 5 different systems just to understand what your customers are doing. Your database updates in real time, your segments update automatically, your flows, campaigns, and personalization all run off the same source of truth. And that shift is why many brands are moving to Klaviyo. Brands like Dollar Shave Club have reduced total CRM stack costs by over 30% after consolidating onto Klaviyo. Multi-brand operators like Mark Fisher have migrated multiple brands and drastically reduced the time required to execute CRM marketing. And brands using email and SMS together inside Klaviyo are seeing massive ROI compared to running channels in separate platforms. The big unlock is simplicity and scale at the same time. Klaviyo is built for marketers, not for engineers. It is built for online businesses just like yours, and it is built for where e-commerce is going, not where it was 5 years ago. If you're running email and SMS across multiple tools, or you're on a legacy platform and thinking about your next phase of growth, it's probably time to look at Klaviyo. Go to klaviyo.com/honest and see why hundreds of thousands of brands have already made the switch. That's klaviyo.com/honest, klaviyo.com/honest. As you are looking at the market here in the States, how did you settle on a beverage as the first one that you wanted to tackle?
That is a good question. So as a startup, I believe that we need to make, a rocket success, right? Like when I was doing Misaky.Tokyo, the candy business, it was amazing. We have 1.4 million followers. That's why our revenue went to like 7-figure immediately without no advertisement. But the problem was, the candy market, it's so small to compare with the beverage market. Like, look, the Smart Sweets, they're probably doing like $300 million or maybe more, but the biggest, startup is like around 300 million-ish. But to compare with a beverage like Poppi, Olipop, they're doing 500 million, 600 million, just the beverage brand. So that's why I thought that as a startup, we always need to chase the moon. And we decided to use our technology into the beverage to educate people how to use the seaweed. What is the benefit of seaweed? And there's not just a huge market, but also a lot of people are like curious to try new product instead, like to compare with the other CPC. They have their own specific favorite brand. Like in tomato sauce, we have a, favorite tomato sauce, and then they always wanted to stick with it. But in the beverage, functional beverage, I thought that there's a lot of people who would love to try new products. So that means, of course, it's a red ocean, super competitive, but at the same time, people are ready to try it, like even the weird, like seaweed. So we decided to start to, heavily invest in the beverage market.
Absolutely. And I do think you are right. There's something about product discovery in the beverage space. People are always just like, they'll try anything once. And if they like it, then you've got a fan of the brand. Hey, everybody, just a quick reminder. Please like this video and subscribe. If you haven't, we're releasing interviews like this every week, so don't miss out. Now back to the interview. So you launch in beverage, and then you, as you said earlier, now you're in 700 stores. That's amazing. How'd you do it?
It was, again, we launched our product 5 months ago officially. So it looks like a really short time, but for the technology wise, it took 4 years to make it happen. Because again, seaweed, if you boil that, it's going to be like a jello. So we created our own technology. Take that jello texture with like no fishiness, saltiness. It's just, we try to make it just a fresh juice. So it took 4 years to make it happen. But once when we create the product, we did two things. First, we hired amazing sales team, which is super important. Our chief sales officer, his name is Ryan. He was the first sales member of the Honesty. So he know how to grow the beverage, and he has a lot of connection in the retail. So that was like a one win. He's so expensive, but it was worth it. And the second thing, we did a huge competitor analytics. That means what kind of the other companies are communicating, not just researching about the functional beverage, but also clean energy, even the tea. How they communicate is a really important thing. And we created two keywords. One is Seabiotics, which is under our trademark. And second, we communicate the OoMee through about the satiety, like help curb cravings. So once when we create these two unique short keywords, it bloomed, and the retail said, "Oh, that's so unique." And people know that GLP-1 drug is blooming. So they're looking for the alternative, like natural alternative. That was like a hit on the market. Also, people love the Seabiotics because people know about the prebiotics, probiotics, but they feel so boring. If we communicate about another prebiotic, probiotics, they said, "Oh, no, we're tired." But when we just switch, just like P to C, they suddenly become interested in like, "Oh, what is that? That sounds familiar, but that sounds new." So those kind of a competitor analytics and created the new keyword was the king to grow so fast.
Oh yeah, that is, the positioning and differentiation of your product really helps you win in the market. And, those just sound like buzzwords, but if you think about why people buy, and if you're just comparing apples to apples, the American saying, it's just like, okay, they're the same thing. But if you start talking about things that are inherently unique about your product, it starts to separate you from the competition. And then people want that unique stuff. So obviously coming up with Seabiotics is brilliant, and all of the other things that you just shared. And that's what helps you kind of get that success. Hey, store owners, do you know how profitable your last big decision was on your Shopify store? Most testing tools make it easy to measure design changes, small tweaks, headlines, layouts, button colors. But what about the decisions that really move the business? pricing changes, shipping rates, discount strategy, even new apps and tools. Those are usually left to gut feel. Intelligems brings CRO level clarity to decisions that live beyond the page. Brands like Ridge, Jones Road, and True Classics are using Intelligems to test pricing, offers, shipping, and more, and see exactly how each choice impacts profit. Momofuku used Intelligems to test multiple promotional offers ahead of Black Friday and identify the version that ultimately increased profit by about 28%. Mott & Bow used Intelligems to run structured pricing and offer tests that helped drive roughly a 30% increase in incremental profit. Dossier used Intelligems to run site-wide testing that resulted in about a 7.4% increase in profit per visitor across their store. They have a bunch more case studies on their website. I'm a big fan of Intelligems. We use Intelligems to test major site changes, new theme launches, and throughout ongoing CRO work. So when we are making decisions around design, pricing, offers, etc., we can be confident that those changes are actually driving more profit for our clients. So before you start changing pricing, promos, and major site experiences across your store all willy-nilly, you should probably test it first. If you're ready to decide confidently and grow profitably, head on over to Intelligems.io. That's Intelligems.io and use code HONEST for 10% off your first 3 months. That's Intelligems.io. Use code HONEST. You mentioned a bit ago that you hired a salesperson as like your attempt to get into the market. You were going traditional, like you want to be in retail stores. What made you choose that channel as like the first distribution channel?
That's a super great question. So how should I say, like the beverage, it's so difficult to make a sales online. I talked to so many.
And it's expensive to ship.
Exactly. My background is all about marketing and then also branding and new business development. I love data. I love doing a lot, like huge analytics. So when I researching a lot of things about Poppy, Olipop, their strategy was they win in the retail first, then they win next in Amazon. They do a little halo effect together and little by little. So on that point, starting from the online or beverage, it's too difficult. We need some stepstone. And on that point, retails, it's tough, but I was super confident about our product, the differentiation, it's the timing. And so that's why we decided to heavily invest on the retail first. And little by little, that halo effect come to our online. And then we can send more customer to the retails. Once that data comes, the other retail wanted to carry our product more. So that kind of like halo effect, it really worked. So for the future entrepreneur who wanted to do the beverage, I seriously recommend first focus on the amazing product and focus on sharp enough of the communication. And then, investment to to the retails or the investment to the online makes sense. I saw so many entrepreneurs who struggle, who didn't really make it sharp enough on the product and then, spend a lot of money to the other activities. I think that's kind of a tough, but we really focus on the product, development, communication, and yeah, that pays a lot right now.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to just highlight what you said in a different way because it comes up a lot on this show. Something that makes your job a lot easier as an entrepreneur is having a great product. Like that
Correct.
that is a cheat. That is a cheat. If it's just like something that's easily replaceable or doesn't have any differentiation or uniqueness to it. And I had someone challenge me on this once on the podcast where I kind of said like clothing was like something that was pretty hard to, and he was like, no, taste and being ahead of the fashion curve is a differentiating factor. And so, you just have to find these things in whatever niche that you're in. So having good product, first and foremost, just makes your job so much easier as a entrepreneur. So like you said, spend time on it. But I do want to ask, is there such thing as spending too much time on it? Like, should you launch?
Wow, that's really, how to say, that question hurt my ear. Again, I spent 4 years to make this happen. And, but luckily that we success from Misaky-Tokyo. That's why we could have a buffer time to, continue those R&D. So honestly, I don't know what is the answer. But for my takeaway, Misaki was super easy lift. The margin is Misaki margin is.
That's wild. It's a big number, everybody.
So yeah, we know we were we make a lot of profitability on Misaki, and then also because of that amazing traction, we already fundraised about $8.3 million in the past. That's why we can heavily, we had a run rate to focus on the product launch. So, but I don't know, to be really honest, I don't know what is the answer, but what we learned was if you wanted to do a beverage or some heavily stuff, I really recommend you to how to tap into the cash, how to get the investment money. But on the same time, you need to be clever how to spend that money. And our decision was, creating the technology. And not creating just a brand. Technology is really important because once when you have the technology, you can have more exit plan in the future. Right now I cannot tell the details, but we're actually going to make a white label with one of the huge beverage company next year. So those kind of a relationship we can build. So, yes, it takes time, but, be focused. Focus where do you want it to build, then later on they're going to pay a lot.
I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. I got a few more questions for you. One, with Misake, that kind of, as you alluded to, funded the initial development of OoMee. Now, do all of these live under the Aqua Theon brand now?
Yes, correct. So Aqua Theon is the entire holdings company, and then underneath Misaki, OoMee, and even the medical capsule patent is also under the same corporation.
And I'm so glad you said the word patent, because you talked about your seaweed technology. Are you guys trying to get a patent on that process?
Yes, we already registered the PCT, and now it's switching into the individual country patentized system. So we're ready to rock and roll on a medical field too.
So whenever I travel a lot for work, and there's Shark Tank's on every hotel TV for some reason, and I just watch it religiously. And what excites the sharks, without a doubt, is when they say they have something patented, right? And so I guess for any listeners out there, why does a patent excite the sharks? What makes it so good for your business?
Yes. So in the food business, unfortunately, we cannot make the patent in general. Because food is trade secret. It's, under the food law, people think that it's just a recipe. So recipe is a common information. Everybody can steal together. We should share together. That is the rule, how it works. So for the OoMee and Misaki, there's a lot of food, like trade secret too.
Mm-hmm.
But on the medical field, it's different. That's why we decided to patentize our technology there. And then under the patent, we actually covered a huge category of the patent. So in the future, if somebody wanted to make a medical capsule or like plastic alternative through the seaweed, I can like get the fee. So it's a huge margin. It's a huge market. We're not, even if you're not going to work hard, that patent going to make money for us. So that's why, protecting a patent is really important.
Mm-hmm.
But on the same time, the difficulty is patent means you need to open that information public. Right? So you need to be really you need to really be clever to what kind of information do you want it to hide as a trade secret versus which, information are you okay to share in public and get that as a money resource?
Absolutely. Now, is there any question I didn't ask you today that you think would resonate with our audience?
I would love to talk about the early product development because honestly, my background is marketing and branding and PR. My side job is a TV anchor that 15 million people watch the show in Japan. But I don't have any background of the science, but I create this technology by myself. How? I actually purchased a lot of, scientific machinery from Amazon, put it everything in my kitchen. And I tested 4,000 times to make this OoMee, formulation in my kitchen / I call laboratory. So what I wanted to share to public is like, look, I am not an English native speaker. And I'm Asian woman. I didn't graduate in the university in the US and I don't have any science background. I have ADHD. I don't have any families or friends in the US when I came back to the US. And I have a lot of difficulty, but I create this amazing technology and I create this amazing business. So I really wanted to tell to everybody is, hey, you have better position than me. You have you can speak English fluently than me. You have a lot of friends and family here. You probably have an amazing connection here. So you have much more advantage than me. And the differences between me and the other is I just wanted to say that I really, really work hard. So I wanted to do inspiration for the future entrepreneur is look at me. I built it until here. So you guys have much more advantage than me. Then you can rock more than me. So always doing the entrepreneurship is tough. We always say that, oh, you're not going to success. You're not going to do la yada yada. You're too weak. You're too small and you're just Asian. You cannot speak English. You are la yada 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 yada. There's so many people going to mention about you that to make you feel small. But no. Don't listen to that, negative voice. If you believe in yourself, focus on yourself, there's no limitation. This world is so big, but actually too small. If you success really well, if you work hard, if you study really hard, if you be nice, like today, I have an opportunity to talk to you, right? So I just wanted to mention to everybody that early product development is tough, but do it. It's an AI society. You can search easily. You can tap into more information quickly. All you have to do is change your mindset and just work hard.
Absolutely. And that's an amazing positive message to end things on. But one last question, probably the most important question. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to try this seaweed beverage. Where do I go? What do I do?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. We're in Amazon Prime, so we can ship nationwide. Also, if you're especially living in California, there's so many locations over there, right? Like Raley's or Bristol Farms, Last and Mothers. If you wanted to check which retail gonna carrying, please check OoMee. You can check the location navigator over there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.